going in. I thought our kids did some great things in practice. I thought we were focused, and I thought we were ready to go. And at the start, unfortunately, I feel that we had a little bit of nerves, and we ended up playing tentative. One thing in my mind, when you're nervous, the first thing to go a lot of times is your feet. And unfortunately, in the game of volleyball, a lot of what you do is with your feet. And we could tell that we were not able to make plays that are normally very easy for us. And I think that just kind of snowballed into a few other things. So we were a little tentative in game one. I think we turned around and had a much better game two. Still had some things execution-wise from our game plan that we weren't doing that we really wanted to do, but we stepped it up in a lot of areas. And to be honest, going into the locker room between games 2 and 3, it was tough. Being down 0-2 against a very good team that was playing very confident. Obviously, the things in the locker room that are being said, it's all the right things, so they know what to say, but are they really feeling it? Do they really feel that they can win? Do they feel like they can make the changes that we need to make in order to be successful? And I was very proud of our effort coming out. We did a few things game plan-wise. We rotated our lineup, which is not something we normally do, but just wanted to get a different look and have some different matchups, and I think that ended up being a good thing for us. But our overall effort in games 3 and 4 was a complete different team as far as defense and execution, and just was really proud of our kids to be able to push it to that 5th game against a very good Creighton team. And heading into that 5th game, the 5th game is always tough. There's so much in that 5th game. It's so fast. There's things that, Creighton, to me, I have to give them a ton of credit because they just got beat 2 games and they turned around, and you would never know that by the way they came out in that 5th game. They had no errors, which is really hard to do in the 5th game, which was huge for them. And I think, we had a couple of big misses in terms of execution, in terms of discipline, and that kind of snowballed into a couple other mistakes that you just can't have in that 5th game. So unfortunately, we came up on the short end of that, but even though it is a tough loss for us and it really kind of puts us out of that regular season championship in my mind, there was a lot of things that I know we will use from this weekend that are really positive that I know are going to help us during the next couple weeks. So there was some good things that we took out of it. We still are sitting in 2nd place alone because Wichita State got upset this weekend. So we are in 2nd place alone, and that is huge right now because I'm telling you, those 1 through 6 teams in that conference tournament, that the teams that have to play on Thursday, it's going to be tough to play 3 matches in a row to win the conference championship. So the 1 and 2 teams getting that first round bye is probably the biggest it's been in my mind in years past. In years past, sometimes I think it's better to not have the break because you kind of get to play a game and get the feel of the place, but whoever's playing on that Thursday is going to have a battle no matter who they're playing against. So we really need to focus on trying to keep that number 2 seed, and right now it's in our hands because we're not at a tie with Wichita, but we have a lot of big matches to play for that. We head to Southern and Evansville, like Colin said, and these are 2 teams that are playing extremely well at home. Southern is the only team in the conference that has beaten Creighton, so obviously you know what they're capable of, and they play extremely well at home. I think a couple things with Southern is when they were here, they definitely didn't show what they're capable of. I think they kind of had an off game, so we know we're going to have to be more prepared than that, than they were when they were here. The one thing that's interesting about them, they have 3 kids that are first, second, and third in kills per game in the conference, which has never happened in the history of our conference to have the top 3 kill getters from the same team. So obviously those 3 kids, 2 outsides in the middle, are going to be a big focus for us, and 3 kids we're going to have to really work hard at slowing down. As I said the last time we played them, they have the fastest offense in the conference, so it's a very high-risk, high-reward type of offense that they're starting to get better and better at as the year is coming to a close. So that will challenge our defense, it will challenge our discipline, and it will definitely be something that we have to focus on this week to be able to go up against. And then we turn around and play Evansville on Saturday. They upset Missouri State at their place. They gave us a run for our money, if you remember, at our house. So a very good Evansville team, very scrappy on defense, and our patience offensively is going to have to be there. They just keep the ball alive. It can be very annoying at times and frustrating for teams, so we have to work really hard. They have a good outside hitter in Ashley Ring, and then other than that, they're very balanced offensively, so you're not going to be able to key on too many players and be successful. So a big weekend. It's also a very long road trip for us. And we're going to have to do some things this week to get prepared, but we're excited. It's winding down, which is crazy, but we're looking forward to a good weekend coming up. Any questions?
Knowing what Southern Illinois can do with that type of offense and their blockers, is it good to play them Friday night and not have to wait till Saturday night to prepare for them?
I do like playing them Friday first just because in terms of their offense, it's so fast, and we have to be very fresh and ready to go, and we will have to be for Evansville as well. But I think preparing-wise, Southern is the team that's a lot different from any other team. You know, Evansville does some things that a lot of other teams do as well, so the preparation is a little bit less in my mind because it's things we do on a daily basis. But with Southern, we're going to have to do some different things, so I like the fact that they're first.
Amy Brown the past couple Saturdays had negative attack percentage, and Lisa's struggled on the attack, though still pretty good defensively. Is that so much something on your side of the net, or just other teams scouting her and blocking her well?
You know, it's definitely a combination. You know, we definitely do have to get Amy going more offensively for us. It's interesting though because she's had 2 matches where she's hit negative, and she's still on the court. So obviously Amy Brown brings a lot more to our team than just what she does offensively, and we feel strongly as a coaching staff that even though, you know, like you said, 2 kills, she has to be on the court for a lot of other reasons. But we do have to find a way to help her be more successful on the offensive side of things. I think one of the things is teams are completely focusing on her in every aspect. She's getting served a ton. They really pick on her because they know she's the heart and soul of our team. You know, she's that strong leader. They're trying to get her out of the game, and I think, you know, sometimes teams have done a good job of that. But what I like about Amy is she's not going to let that affect every part of her game. Obviously, she's extremely frustrated. She's not scoring more, but she's still going to play hard defense for us. She's still going to lead the team and be that primary passer for us.
You can talk about the second seed in the tournament a lot, but now that the regular season title is kind of out the window, do you wonder or worry about the girls' motivation level this weekend?
Definitely not. You know, and I think it's more, you know, it was a really tough match for us just in terms of, I think, you know, we didn't talk about, you know, we need this match in order to win the regular season, but they know. So, you know, the fact that that's kind of out of the picture, it's not completely, but it is. You know, Creighton's going to have to really take a turn for the worst in order for that to happen. But there's so much more. I mean, for us, the NCAA tournament is what it's all about, and that goal is still very much there. You know, obviously winning the conference tournament is probably really important for that to happen, but that's ultimately what we talk about is the NCAA tournament. And obviously winning the regular season is always a goal for us, but getting to that tournament every year is what our biggest focus is, and that's why every week we have to get better at something and work hard at getting better. And we learned a lot from this weekend, both positive and some things we need to fix, and so that's the biggest part right now. So I definitely don't feel like they have lost motivation at all.
Taking a look at the tournament and just kind of branching out for an overall perspective, what teams probably have the most likely chance to get an at-large in the tournament if they don't win the conference tournament?
It's interesting because on paper, as far as wins, Wichita definitely has the biggest shot just because of the people they have beat. Creighton, obviously, with their record, and have played some teams. They lost to Kansas, who is doing really well right now, so they don't have any poor losses in my mind. So those 2 teams, I think, have the best shot. You know, ours, I really don't know. I mean, I think it depends on how a lot of other conferences end up, and there's some crazy things that are happening right now. You look at the top 10, and several of those teams this week got beat by unranked teams. So it's just, there's a lot. I think the last weekend, it's going to come down to that for a lot of teams. So, but I think those 2 teams on paper definitely have the best shot. All right, thank you.